Karen Elisabeth Vaka og hún Heiðrún, þakka ykkur innilega fyrir. Og næst í braut Elvarún Jónsdóttir.
Okay, hold on. Hello, welcome back to RVK Newscast. My name is Josie Anne Gaitens. I'm culture editor with the Reykjavík Grapevine. No Valor this month. He's away on holiday, having a lovely sunny time. And you didn't see us last week either, and that's because we just released our new print edition of the paper. We also make a paper, that's right. You can find all of those articles up on our website now, or you can order a copy of the paper to wherever you live. We send it worldwide. We're not in Reykjavík right now. We're in Hekla for the National Icelandic Horse Show, which is very cool. And I'm also here with our lovely writer, our intern Asha, who's really into horses and is super excited to be here and is going to tell us a little bit about what we're going to see today. We're obviously in front of a ring at the moment and there's competitions going on. So what is this all about?
So there are actually two tracks here at the Landsmót National Horse Competition.
Yep.
And this track has the Keppna competition, and this is the riding competition.
Okay.
So the riders go around the track and they have a certain number of gaits that they have to display, and it is all about showcasing the horse's agility and ability to perform these gaits and the rider's ability to sit and make the horse do what they want.
Okay. So this is something that I think is really important to point out about Icelandic horses, because Icelandic horses, and they are horses, they're not ponies. People get very upset if you say this. They have different gaits from other horse breeds in the world. So most horse breeds have 3, which would be like your walk, trot, canter, 4, gallop,
yeah.
Gallop. And then what else do Icelandic horses have?
Icelandic horses have a 5th gait. They have what it's called the tolt.
Uh-huh.
And the tolt is like a smoother trot. So usually with the trot, you have to bounce in and out of the saddle to stay on the horse.
Yep.
But with the tolt, you can actually sit in the saddle the whole time because it is so smooth.
So it's kind of like a smooth, so you're meant to be quite firmly seated on the horse. And so that's one of the things then that these judges are looking for when they're looking at these horses just now.
Yes. And actually the most coveted award at this competition is the Tolt Championship.
Wow, okay.
And that is awarded to the horse and rider pair that performs the best tolt over the competition.
And the competition itself, so we're here on Tuesday, but this is like a multi-day event, right?
Yes. So it goes through until Saturday. And you can buy tickets either online or in person, and the competition site in Hekla is actually only about 95 kilometers east of Reykjavík, so it's very accessible.
So we've just driven here in it's a day trip. It's totally cool. That's fine. Or you can roll down hills if you don't want to watch horses. That's totally also an option. But yeah, you can just come here for a day and check it out. So if you're in town, we definitely recommend coming to see this because it's really quite unique, and if you want a special Icelandic experience as part of your trip here, this is definitely something to seek out. But since, you're pretty expert about this, but we don't know everything, especially about Icelandic horses. So we're going to go now and speak to a few people and see if we can learn a little bit more about exactly what it is that makes the Icelandic horse so special. So I'm here now with Gunnar. Gunnar, would you mind introducing yourself and what you do within the context of Icelandic horses?
Well, I'm the president of FIVE, the Association of International Horse Associations for Icelandic Horses.
Okay, so what does that mean in terms of what's the oversight of your organisation?
Well, we are responsible for the breeding program and the breeding rules for the Icelandic horse, as well as the sport rules, education of judges and licensing of international FIVE judges.
And is there kind of a growing interest in this then? You sort of mentioned obviously it's international. We're here in Iceland at the moment. There's obviously a lot of people here involved in it here, but is this something that you're seeing that's really spreading out with Iceland as well?
Yes, we have been growing. Now FIVE has 22 member countries around the world.
Okay.
And we have around 60,000-70,000 members within those countries, but we know that there are more riders of Icelandic horses than that on a worldwide basis, and also we have more Icelandic horses outside of Iceland than here in Iceland.
Wow, that's really incredible.
So there are about 90,000 Icelandic horses here, and around 250,000 outside of Iceland.
Wow, that's amazing. I heard that there's a rule actually where if an Icelandic horse leaves Iceland, it's not allowed to return again.
Yeah,
is that the case?
Yeah, that's the case.
And what's the thinking behind that?
It's they are maintaining both the purity of the breed and also protecting the horse stock in Iceland from diseases that haven't been imported into Iceland so far.
Right.
So
okay.
it's a health issue for the horses. Icelandic horses in Iceland are not vaccinated.
Right.
But
okay.
horses outside of Iceland, they are all vaccinated.
Right. Okay. And I mean, with this kind of like growing interest, like what do you think is the attraction for people, especially outside of Iceland, in the Icelandic horse? What does it represent for people?
Well, it's a very versatile horse.
Yes.
And it is with a friendly character and a good temperament. And the size is ideal for most people because it's a proper horse.
It's definitely a horse, it's not a pony.
It's definitely a horse, not a pony. And at the same time, it's not too tall. So many people that have been involved in the big horse world are turning to the Icelandic horse because it has those 5 gaits.
Yes.
It's amazing to ride, and the character and the connection with the horse is different from many of the other breeds.
Yeah.
I'm told.
Well, I mean, you must believe it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a pretty special thing. Well, thanks very much for your time.
My name is Smithmansett, and I'm a rider here. I'm also a horse breeder and the head riding teacher of Hólar University.
Perfect. So, do you work with both tracks here?
Yeah.
And what would you say the difference is between the 2 tracks?
The difference is that here on this side we have the breeding horses, mostly young horses from 4 to 7. And on the other side we have the competition horses, and they are usually a little bit older, and then it's also divided in age groups from the riders. So it's children, young adults and grown-ups and everything.
Yeah. And the Icelandic horse is obviously very special. So what would you say makes the Icelandic horse different from other breeds?
The difference is that I think it's quite much in the gates, that we have 5 gates. A lot of horses are 5-gated, some are 4-gated compared to other horses that have only 3 gates. And also they have a very brave mind and they are very strong and for the size, and just really, really fun riding horses.
Well, what's your favorite part about riding an Icelandic horse?
I think it's my favorite part is actually to ride, or it's the daily training. I think that's my favorite, just to be with the same horse for a long time and feel it develop. Also riding out in nature, I think is fantastic, to go over the highlands on an Icelandic horse with a big herd of horses. I don't do anything better than that, I think.
And have you always ridden Icelandic horses?
No, I'm from Norway. So I was first into all kinds of horses, Norwegian breeds and other horses also.
And what got you involved in Icelandic horses?
That was maybe a little coincidence. I saw them and I thought that, wow, that looks nice. And I was able to try them, and I was also able to start to ride them. And then I just, you get caught into this. If you start that, you don't change back, I think.
Nice. And how is the competition going so far?
I think it's going good. We're not so far into it yet. It's just Tuesday, so we have a whole 5 days more, I think, or 4 days more.
Yeah. Is that good? I don't know. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My name is Vedragnasson. And I'm an international breeding judge. I've been that for 20 years.
So what do you look for in a horse when you're judging?
Well, when we are judging an Icelandic horse, we are looking at the conformation in total and the gaits. So in total it's 14 traits that we look into, both in the conformation and the gaits. And the conformation is based on functional anatomy and beauty and health. So it's combined together from research and from traditions what we think is the best for the horse to develop in the right direction. And the gaits is more like the breeding goal is this 5 gaits that the Icelandic horse has. It has tölt, trot, gallop, pace. And then we also judge the spirit and the form and the rider, because it has to be very nice movements and supple body and eager to cooperate with the rider.
Yeah.
So we try to estimate that all from the judging.
Nice. And the tolt is specific to the Icelandic horse, so what is so special about the tolt?
Well, the tolt is, there are other breeds in the world that have this 4-beated gait. The tolt is a 4-beated gait, where you always have one leg at the ground. So it's very supple to sit. And it's very gentle to the rider, and it's very good balance for the horse. So it's probably developed from we kept it in the Icelandic horse, because we used the Icelandic horse for traveling always. And in a landscape like in Iceland, you need a horse that can just kind of float over the land. And then you need something very comfortable, like an Icelandic horse.
That works out well. What would you say the perfect Icelandic horse looks like?
Whoa. Well, there is a breeding goal for the perfect Icelandic horse, but I actually think the perfect horse is, for each individual, his horse. At each time, that's the perfect horse for you. The horse that you love and you like and you want to spend time with, that's the perfect horse.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to talk to all of those people and to learn a little bit more about what makes the Icelandic horse special and why you should come to Landsmót, which we definitely think you should. It's super cool. But it's not a newscast without news. So let's briefly go over some of the stories that are happening at the moment in Icelandic news. So the first thing I want to tell you about is a fire that broke out at an aluminium smelter plant in the early hours of this morning. The plant is called Elkem. It's in Grundartangi in West Iceland. And we've actually reported from there before. By the way, this is part of the festival as well. They have all of these stands available and lots of things for sale. So we're going to wander around and check these out. But yeah, we have reported from the area around this smelter before. You might remember that newscast. It was a very chaotic newscast. Valor was trying to read from like a sodden script. Me and Polly ended up in the river trying to rescue a frisbee very badly. And at that point, we were reporting on a strange kind of sonic boom that had emanated from the smelter. Look at this. That's so cute. You gonna do any shopping?
Maybe.
Bring some presents home? Yeah, so this strange sonic boom at the time was traced back to the smelter plant and was all to do with like there was no wind and there was construction going on. But now there's been this fire there, and it took all available fire brigade units in the area to control the blaze, which luckily resulted in no injuries. However, the director of Elkem has announced that 3 furnaces will need to be turned off for a week while repairs are made. So Alfheiður Augustsdóttir, again, my pronunciation, not the strongest. She's the director of the plant, and she said that this will obviously result in a significant drop in production for a short space of time. They still don't know exactly what caused the fire, but they're investigating that at the moment. So obviously aluminium smelters, there's quite a few in Iceland, and it's a big part of the industry here. It's kind of a controversial industry, and you know, there's obviously environmental concerns about that. But it is also a very important industry and employs a lot of people, so it's significant that this event has happened. More news, this time from the capital, is that Iceland has received its 2nd Michelin star restaurant, or been awarded a Michelin star. So Ox on Reykjavík received a Michelin star yesterday in an awards ceremony for the Nordic countries in Stavanger, Norway. The first Icelandic restaurant to receive a Michelin star was Dill, and it's also maintained its status. So now we have 2 places that have a Michelin star, which is really exciting because Iceland is not really known for its food culture. If you've been here before, I mean, what do you think? Have you eaten out here much?
It's a lot of fish.
It's a lot of fish. The fish is good, I would say, but in general, most of the food that gets eaten here and is served in restaurants is imported, and that obviously has an impact on quality. But both Dill and Ox have kind of rocked the boat a bit because they are known for the fact that they are using local and even foraged ingredients, and you know, just doing really interesting things like serving, like making stocks with kitchen scraps, and just kind of being really creative and inventive. This kind of new Nordic idea of food and cooking. So it's really exciting to have another Michelin star and to see the culture around food changing in Iceland, and not just fish. And finally, a public pool in Reykjavík has announced that it's trialling extended opening hours. So this is Laugardalslaug, which is Reykjavík's biggest pool, and it's going to.
That's my pool.
Is that your pool? Is
That's
that the
my
one
pool.
you're next to?
Yeah.
Well, excitingly, it's going to stay open until midnight every Thursday between the 4th of August and the 29th of December. So Icelandic public pools, they already stay open till 10 o'clock at night, which is pretty late compared to other countries, I think. Is it different in the States?
We don't have public pools, really.
Really?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, in the UK, we do have public pools, but they're not like Icelandic pools. And I think that Icelandic pool culture is so unique. It's one of my favourite things about living here. And it's going to be really fun to be able to go to the pool until midnight, especially while there's still like long summer days. Summer, you know, quote unquote, we're wearing hats and coats. But also, as well as this, the pool is going to offer free entry for children aged 6 to 16 years old for the entire month of August. So parents, anyone visiting with kids, or if you live in town, this is clearly the place to be. And just generally, like I said, like pool culture is one of my favourite things about living here. I honestly think it's, when people ask me how I survive the winters here, it's the pools. Like that's how I do it. So, you know, come here, try Blue Lagoon, try Sky Lagoon. These places are lovely spas. But if you really want to understand Icelandic pool culture, Icelandic culture in general, go to the public pools. They're very cheap. They're open late. They're open till midnight if you go to this one specifically. I know it can be a bit daunting for people to do the whole showering naked thing. Did it take you a while to get used to that?
The first time I came here, several years ago, I was here with my mom, and all the signs were in Icelandic, and we didn't know what they said. And so we went to go take a shower, but we didn't have our swimsuits off because we didn't know.
Yeah.
And an old Icelandic woman came up and screamed at us, and I learned pretty fast.
Okay,
That's the rules.
I don't think that that's the way you should do it either, but if you want to know, you are meant to shower with your clothes off. Cool. That's another way to get around if you don't have a horse. But everybody does it. Everybody is normal. So, you know, it's kind of a nice thing to embrace, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thoughts. That's my 2 pence on pools.
The pools also usually have water slides.
Yeah.
Which are fun.
Yeah.
And anybody can go on them.
Yeah. It's really fun. Well, that's it from us, from Asha and Josie Anne at Landsmót at the National Icelandic Horse Show. We've had a super fun day. This is on all week. Again, we really encourage you to come here. And just remember as well, please check out our latest issue. It's online. You can order a copy as well if you want to hold a physical copy. I wish I'd brought one to show you. It's got a really beautiful cover photo done by Joanna, a really brilliant young photographer who's working with us at the moment. So please do go and check that out. And otherwise, we will see you on Thursday with more news. Bye for now.